While watching Thursday Night Football, follow along on your smartphone with TNF Extra. Get exclusive access to live sideline reports, facts, and player stats. Download at NFL.com/extra.
Welcome to the following presentation of the National Football League on NFL Network.
Hey, y'all, I'm Blake Shelton. Welcome to my city.
I know you got your own town. I know you got your own ways. I know there's no place like home, but I know you're gonna like it in my city. Everybody's welcome here. Everybody welcome to my city. We ain't got no worries here.
Let's go. This is our stadium.
I know you're gonna like it in my city. We got it all night long.
This is the go-home.
Music
makes a pay.
plays all night long.
Unbelievable play by Andrew Luck.
Welcome to my city. Everybody's welcome here. Everybody welcome to my city. Come on, come on. You ain't never had a party till you come to a party in my city.
And our Thursday Night Football city is Music City, USA. Nashville, Tennessee, and LP Field. And our matchup in the AFC South, it's the Indianapolis Colts and the Tennessee Titans. And as you take a look at the AFC South standings, Indianapolis with a 6-3 record and already a 2-game lead as we enter Week 11 of the National Football League. And we welcome you to Nashville, everybody. Brad Nessler along with Mike Mayock. Partner, Colts come in, they can kind of solidify the division if they win tonight. 6-3. They probably got more quality wins than anybody in football right now as they beat the 49ers, the Seahawks, and the Broncos. And then something like last week happens with the Rams, and you wonder, what's this team about right now?
I'm not sure they know, Brad, what this team's all about, but there are two things I know. Number one, they've got to start much more quickly. The last 2 weeks at halftime, they've been down by a combined 49-3 score. That can't happen tonight. Secondly, they've got to run the football. Look, you traded a first-round pick to Cleveland for Trent Richardson. It's time for him to share the load with quarterback Andrew Luck. Now, if you give Luck a balanced attack, he's going to get you in the fourth quarter. And, Brad, my take on this young man, he's the best young quarterback I've seen come into this league since Peyton Manning.
Well, the Tennessee Titans come in. Their coaches told us, their players, including Alteron Werner, said yesterday, we better approach this like a playoff game because starting tonight, it's maybe win or go home.
Yeah, and keep in mind, they know they've got Indianapolis 2 of the next 3 weeks, and this division can look completely different at the end of the month. So I think it's really important that with a new quarterback, veteran Ryan Fitzpatrick, remember Jake Locker's hurt. He's going to come in a little different pace, control the game at the line of scrimmage, no huddle, up tempo. He can spread the football around, but the one thing they can't forget is Chris Johnson. I don't care if you hand it to him, I don't care if you throw it to him, but you got to find opportunities for this young man in space.
And with more on that, let's check in third member of our team down on the field, Alex Flanagan. Alex?
Hey, Brad and Mike. Well, Chris Johnson hasn't had an awful lot of success recently running against the Indianapolis Colts. In fact, in the last 5 matchups between these two teams, the Colts have held him to under 100 yards. And he said that while he was watching film this week, that thought occurred to him. So he told me that a goal of his tonight is to hang at least 100 on the Colts. He says in order to do that, ideally, he needs to touch the ball at least 20 times tonight. He says it's critical tonight for his team to be able to run the ball and control the clock tonight against the Indianapolis Colts, Brad.
Amazing that a guy that was a 2,000-yard rusher a couple of seasons ago has a goal of 100 against the Colts, who won the toss and deferred. So McAfee will tee it up. Devin Wiley is back deep. Week 11 of the NFL season underway in Nashville. And they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line with Ryan Fitzpatrick at the controls. Last time we saw him, he was a starter for the Buffalo Bills. Former 7th-round pick, number 250, 9 years ago. He started for 4 different teams, including Buffalo last year, and a good season last year. Mikey had 3,400 yards, 24 touchdowns. Of course, with E.J. Manuel getting drafted there, he became expendable. what a good guy to have around with the Jake Locker situation.
And Brad, I think often overlooked is if I'm a general manager, I'm going to overpay for a quality backup quarterback just for situations like this.
So the Titans work from their own 20-yard line. Johnson, the single setback, and they're going to throw on first down, maybe. And down goes Fitzpatrick on the first play of the game. Loss of a couple. Corey Redding's the first guy there. And let's take a look tonight at the Titans difference makers, Mike.
Yeah, we've already talked about Chris Johnson, but for me, Kendall Wright is becoming one of the best young wide receivers in this league. And they signed Delaney Walker in the offseason. 29 catches, 4 touchdowns. He's making his mark.
As you said, Fitzpatrick likes an empty backfield and to go with tempo, and they do without a huddle. And his first throw is complete. Got it out. And out to the 29-yard line goes Delaney Walker, right on cue. They'll bring up a third down and shorts. And the difference makers defensively for the Colts tonight.
Yeah, well, Jarrell Freeman, for me, year 3, came out of a tiny Division III school, has had a wonderful 2 seasons, makes a lot of tackles, but the guy that makes this whole thing go, obviously, Robert Mathis, 13.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, a legitimate contender for Defensive Player of the Year honors.
On pace right now to break the sack record held by Michael Strahan. Third down and a yard. Tennessee, a 42% team on their third down conversions, and the Colts took a timeout.
They were all out of whack. Pat Anger, the linebacker, was running out trying to cover the tight end. The safety was telling him to go back inside, and Chuck Pagano said, okay, timeout.
Chuck in his second season as the head coach of the Colts. Record 17-9. Of course, Bruce Arian was the interim coach when Chuck was out last year. His leukemia in remission, feeling great, looking good. That's great news. On the other side, Mike Munchak, who spent his entire career either with the Oilers or the Titans as a player and coach.
2 really solid football people at the head coaches tonight.
So third down, a long yard. And again, Fitzpatrick in the shotgun on an empty backfield. Over the middle's got it complete. It's Walker again, the tight end, out to the 40. And a Titans first down.
We're talking about Delaney Walker, and it's a little bit of a mismatch with Pat Anger. Up again. You're just going to see him beat Anger across the face. Nice job by Fitzpatrick, and he's got him over the football again, ready to go. This is his kind of style. He did it before halftime last week, put together an impressive drive after Locker got hurt.
First down at the 40. Again, a crossing pattern, incomplete this time, and that one intended for Kendall Wright. So your 2 guys that you picked out have been the main targets for Fitzpatrick so far.
Yeah, but they're going to have to mix in some run game at some point. And I know what's happening is Dal Loggins, the offensive coordinator, is trying to play to the strengths of his quarterback. And let's face it, this Fitzpatrick's been in the league 9 years. He's from Harvard. He's a smart kid, and he knows what he likes, which is controlling the game at the line.
They do have Chris Johnson back in behind him now. He's joined by Walker, the tight end, in the Titans backfield. Here's Johnson's first carry. Only got about a yard. Robert Mathis in on the stop.
Yeah, that's Mathis having no real threat backside with the quarterback. He just came all the way across the line of scrimmage and made the play from behind.
It's amazing. 11 years in the league and playing like he's 25.
I got a kick when we sat down with him last night, and he talked about coming out of Alabama A&M as a 5th-round pick, and he was like, I was scared that I wasn't going to make the team. I just was concentrating on special teams.
Again, crossing pattern. Wright's got it. First down, Titans, and more. Nice move to get it out close to the 40-yard line of the Colts. A 17-yard pass play.
There was some confusion here with Bethea and Freeman. Look at the conversation going on here, and they're late off the ball. Now, you don't want to be late off the ball if you're going man-to-man with Kendall Wright. You notice something right away. A lot of crossing routes, Brad. They're anticipating man coverage, and they're man beaters right there.
So Fitzpatrick moving them right down the field, 3 out of 4 already. And again, they go back across the middle. Wright coming the other way, and he's got another first down, and we've got a flag down. Not sure if we had a horse collar at the end of that play or not. A pickup of 11.
They're really picking on the safeties and linebackers.
Mike Carey is our referee.
LaRon Landry was in coverage there, and he's a straight line hitter. This guy will knock you out, but the bottom line is he struggles a little bit in coverage, and they're taking advantage of the linebackers and safeties right now.
Holding. Defense number 22 is declining. The play results in a first down.
A holding call defensively. Decline. They take the play, and it's just inside the 30-yard line on the Titans' opening drive of the ballgame. Can't draw it up any better than they have, and there's the offensive coordinator, Dow Loggins, who Mike spoke of earlier.
It's like he's about 12, doesn't he? You and I are getting old.
When we saw he graduated from college in 2004, we almost had a heart attack. Here's Johnson. And Chris into the secondary, and you can kiss it goodbye. That's how fast he is when he gets to the second level. 30-yard touchdown. Pass, 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 run.
You took the words right out of my mouth, and they spent a lot of money to get Andy Levitre in the offseason from Buffalo. He gets out in front of the key block, good block by the tight end also, just enough. And look at the block by Nate Washington. And this is what you're looking for. Patience to the hole, and then burst and acceleration through the hole.
And once that last guy touched him, it was cruise control. 80-yard drive to open up the ball game. Baronis in for the point after. Titans off to a great start on their home field. 8 plays, 80 yards. A guy that wants 100 against the Colts tonight just ripped off 30 and a touchdown. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Best Buy. Get the right gifts at the right price, all at your ultimate holiday showroom. And delivered by Papa John's, official pizza sponsor of the NFL. Well, last 3 games, Mike talked about it. In the open was 49-3. Now it's 56-3. But of course, Andrew Luck and Trent Richardson and company haven't touched the ball yet. Great looking drive by the Titans, though, to open up a 7-0 lead. They converted a couple of third downs on that drive. Fitzpatrick to Delaney Walker and also Kendall Wright to keep the drive alive, and then Chris Johnson finished it off. Baronis kick. David Reed will field a yard deep. And Reed straight up the middle, puts his head down and gets out across the 25-yard line.
Now, if you're going to run the football, you got to make the blocks right here. Nate Washington, the wide receiver, he comes down on the safety, Bethea. And then look at the tight end, Taylor Thompson, on the defensive end right there, number 93, Walden. In addition to Levitre, they're the 3 key blocks. 28's barely touched.
Andrew Luck and the Colts work from the 25-yard line.
Let it roll! Let it roll! Let it roll! You're waiting!
Trent Richardson trying to bounce it out to the left side and got nowhere. Alterrod Werner, we talked about him with a nice tackle. Andrew Luck, first overall pick last year, Mike.
Yeah, and the best pocket awareness I've ever seen in a young quarterback. He won't wilt under fire, especially if you get the game into the fourth quarter. He's going to win it, and his intangibles, leadership, toughness, and intelligence are off the charts.
Over 4,300 yards passing and 23 touchdowns last year. Rookie record in the yardage total. Second down and 10. He'll throw for the first time. Innocent traffic, but he tucked it in there to Kobe Fleener, his tight end. And Fleener got about 4 before he's run back behind the line of scrimmage. As we take a look at Indianapolis and their difference makers offensively.
Yeah, T.Y. Hilton, really fast vertical receivers, got 41 catches, 9 games of over 100 yards in just a year and a half. And Kobe Fleener, when Andrew Luck's in trouble, he trusts his former Stanford teammate, and Fleener is becoming one of the better receiving tight ends in football.
They were terrible on third down against the Rams last week. Let's see how they do with a third down and 6 on their opening drive. Luck in and out of the hands hands of Whalen, who should have had it. Another former Stanford player, and a flag down.
Illegal formation. Offense in the 74's held on the line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined. Fourth down.
So while the Titans' opening drive was picture perfect, the Colts was rocky. And they'll have to punt.
Looks like the tape we've seen from the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
2 weeks ago against Houston, they were down 21-3. And then last week they were down 28-0 at halftime. Boy, have they struggled.
McAfee to punt. Devin Wiley waits back on the other end. Should have a shot at this one from the 28. And tripped up. Nice job on the special teams. Getting down there and taking his blocker out as well. To make the hit is Brazil. 43-yard punts. 4-yard return. Will return with the Titans leading 7-0 in a moment. So we got game day morning. We go one-on-one with Chiefs head coach Andy Reid as we preview Sunday night's much anticipated showdown between the Chiefs and the Broncos. Game day morning, Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network.
That's going to be a heck of a game, huh?
Yeah, it should be a dandy. Good start here for the Titans in a must-win situation. 2 games behind the Colts, off to a 7-0 lead. Here's a counter. Chris Johnson. And here's Chris Johnson again. Almost got loose into the secondary. Picked up about 9.
You get him going early, and this is the same play. It's counter. They bring Walker from the backside and Levitri the guard. It's great blocking up front, but if you get him going early, if you get this guy going early, he's a different animal. I thought he struggled last week against St. Louis.
And again, Titans are waiting at the line of scrimmage. 40 yards already tonight. 2nd down and less than 1 here. And he stays in behind Ryan Fitzpatrick. Be a great time to take a shot on play action. They'll give it to him. Again, he cuts back, finds a crease, has a first down. That time, nice vision, Mike, and that's one of the things coaches said he doesn't have great vision.
And the thing is, Brad, like you said, once he sees that hole, I think he's got a burst. And he can't hesitate. And that's what I've seen on tape the last couple of years, is a hesitation at the point of attack.
He's a great receiver out of the backfield, in this case, as a wideout to the bottom of your screen.
Hey, Walker, Walker.
Okay, here goes Harvard. He's changing everything, the protection and the play.
Red, to go. Blue 20. Pick up.
Fitzpatrick wants to throw on 1st down. He's a good runner. And he lost the ball at the end of this one. Wait a minute. They blew it dead after a pickup of a couple.
I got a question, Brad. When are these guys going to start sliding?
I don't know. That was
Feet
another
first.
head first one right there.
You got to go feet first. It protects you against all of this kind of stuff. Now, he's given himself up. He's given himself up. And I think the ball's secure.
They picked up a couple. Will be 2nd down and 8. Sean Green is checked in to the lineup for the first time. Fitzpatrick wants to throw a screen. Nice play defensively by Vontae Davis off the corner. And I think we got a challenge over on the far side of the field, if I'm not mistaken. Right when the snap was coming, Chuck threw out the challenge flag.
See the timing on this and whether or not they're going to allow it. I didn't hear a whistle.
I didn't either. And I didn't see the flag at the time. He's trying to tell Mike Carey, I threw it before the snap. Here's the call.
There is no challenge on the play. The flag came after the ball was snapped. 2nd down.
Now look at his beard. And now let's get a look at Ryan Fitzpatrick's beard. It's like leftovers from Duck Dynasty. I mean, we met with these guys and I couldn't help thinking of that show.
Oh. So it brings up 3rd down. They converted a couple of 3rd downs, as I mentioned, including a 3rd and 9 on their opening drive. This one's going to be 3rd and 8 with the ball about a foot on their side of the 50.
Colts just brought in their 1st-round pick, Aaron Warner from Florida State. They think he's a natural edge rusher.
Fitzpatrick in the gun. On 3rd down. Got hit as he threw, but he threw it complete to Delaney Walker again. Fitzpatrick took a shot, but he threw it out there 14 yards and a first down.
On the backside is Delaney Walker, anticipating one-on-one coverage against the safety. What I liked is he used his body and pushed off. You're not going to call him for that, but he was physical, pushed off. Fitzpatrick takes the hit, but delivers the football accurately.
Again, they're moving it right down the field on this Colts defense.
Notice it's not only up-tempo, no huddle, but typically nobody in the backfield with him.
Fitzpatrick again to throw on first down. Again, a crossing route. Walker, the tight end, having an all-pro first quarter here.
Well, we talked about our difference makers up front. And Delaney Walker, Kendall Wright are already having big games.
Yep. Walker, you mentioned earlier, top free agent signing. Spent 7 years with the 49ers. Having a huge first quarter. Second down at 2 as Johnson's back behind Fitzpatrick, and he'll get the carry. And he's going to get the first down as well.
I think if you're a Titans fan, you like the pace of the game right now. Ryan Fitzpatrick's got this thing under control, and then when he gets under center, it's the run game with Chris Johnson and the play action off of that. There's Jake Locker.
Jake Locker again, season-ending injury. Had a tremendous start the first month of the season, and then was out with a hip injury for a couple of games. Fitzpatrick started, and now it's Fitzpatrick's show the rest of the way for Tennessee. The spot wasn't quite where I thought it was going to be for Chris Johnson, right. So they're going to have to take a look at this and bring out the chains.
I feel badly for Rustin Webster and Mike Munchak regarding this quarterback situation, Brad. I mean, what they really wanted was Locker to start 16 games, go to the playoffs, and establish the fact that he is their franchise quarterback. But what's happened is last year, 2012, missed 5 games with a shoulder. This year, 2 games with a hip, and the last 7 with a foot. They're going to go into the offseason with major question marks about whether or not they're going to have to draft a young quarterback.
And, of course, their fan base will be asking the same question.
Yep.
It is a first down just outside the 25. Fitzpatrick, he will run it here. And this time he slides inside the 20.
And Kendall Wright won quickly again, but a flash of color got Fitzpatrick to leave the pocket. I thought he could have hung in there and made a throw.
Coming into the game, he had 94 yards and 2 touchdowns rushing. Does a little traffic direction and then slides down to the 20-yard line. 9th play of the Titans drive, their second possession. They've owned the entire quarter. The Colts had a 3-and-out. Chris Johnson trying to take it wide. Puts a stiff arm out to get the corner. And it looks like he's going to have a first down or very close to it. Cassius Vaughn ran him out of bounds.
And they pulled Levitri again this time. CJ bounced it wide. His explosion and burst is awesome.
Levitri kind of a comfort zone guy for Fitzpatrick too. They were both with Buffalo last year.
I liked what he had to say yesterday about Ryan Fitzpatrick's role stepping in, and he just said, hey, this guy's been 9 years in the league. I have a complete comfort level in his ability to control the game at the line of scrimmage.
He's been doing it so far for the first 10 minutes. He's 7 out of 8 throwing the football. The Colts defense has been out there the whole quarter.
Okay, so it's Chris Johnson or play action, right? Under center, I formation.
It's Chris Johnson. And it's Chris Johnson inside the 10, down to about the 7. Running hard tonight.
And I think one of the more underrated tackles in the league is right here, Michael Ruse. Watch him get on Mathis, ride him out. Levitri does a good job on the inside, gets on the linebacker. And Chris Johnson's seen a lot of green grass quickly tonight, hasn't he?
63 yards worth on 7 carries. They can get a first down just outside the 5. The end zone's only 7 yards away right now. Second down and 2. Johnson again. And straight ahead, Johnson. Wow. And he's in. Touchdown. On the first one, he showed his speed. On the second one, he showed a little power.
That might be the best run he's had in 3 years. Watch him drop the pad level on Bethea, but keep the legs going. He's been going down too easily. He's on top of Bethea. They're going to have to take a close look at this one because I think it's good because he rolls on top of Bethea.
Baronis out for the point after. How about that night so far? All Tennessee on their home field in the first quarter. They have owned the first 11 minutes. A 68-yard drive, 11 plays. Chris Johnson's second time in the end zone tonight. All Tennessee so far in the opening 11 minutes.
Pretty good return on the investment at left guard, but watch the cut in the hole. Right foot hits the ground. He accelerates, drops the pad level, and finishes. And I watched every run he's had this year, Brad. He's a completely different looking guy tonight than at any point this season.
I think he likes Thursday night football. You've been saying plant the foot and explode, and he's been planting it so far in the first quarter.
I mean, Jason Babin tackled him last week on a one-on-one where he never should have, and I'm sitting there going, man, just plant the foot and go, and tonight he's doing it.
The Colts have only had 3 plays. The Titans already have 2 touchdowns. Baronis kick's going to chase Reed to the far side of the end zone. Going to have to make a decision. Picks it up at the 1-yard line and it's going to get planted at the 5.
How about this start?
Couldn't be any worse right now for Indianapolis. They're down 2 scores and at their own 5-yard line. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by PlayStation. Greatness awaits in stores November 15th, 2013. And brought to you by Craftsman. Well, we don't lack for brains tonight in the football game. Harvard and Stanford. A Harvard guy in his 9th year. A Stanford guy in his 2nd year. Andrew Luck and Ryan Fitzpatrick. And so far, the guy on the right, it's been all Harvard so far tonight. The Colts, a terrible start, much like a week ago against the Rams. And off play action, Luck lobs it out of his own end zone to Trent Richardson, and Richardson gets belted, but he got a first down. Bernard Pollard hit him after a pickup of 13.
Nice job by Mike McGlynn, the right guard, getting out there and getting a key block. A little dangerous throw from your own end zone.
Yeah. A lot of bad things can happen back there. And now the first half in the last 3 games, 63-3 on the short end, Indianapolis.
The press was on from Chuck Pagano all week long to his team. We have to start quickly, and it hasn't happened.
Bootleg, the throw off play action goes to Trent Richardson, and he's going nowhere. Wrap him up and bury him on the far side of the field. The last hit was Patoa.
Toa just cleaned him up.
Oof, yes. The Titans difference makers tonight. Jarrell Casey already with 7.5 sacks on the season. We talked to Alteron Werner. 5 interceptions on the year, tied for the top spot in the NFL. And he's the guy that said it's win or go home for us. It's a playoff game. And so far they're playing with that kind of intensity tonight. Luck in the shotgun on 2nd and 10. Again, he throws short to Richardson. Trent can't get away. This time it's a linebacker, Akeem Ayers, with the stop.
Brad, we talked to Trent Richardson last night and asked him about the trade. First of all, he was very surprised by it. He learned from a radio show and a friend of his who called, but he made the comment that he wants to show people he's a complete tailback. And I think what that means is he's got to catch the football and he's got to pass protect. He's caught the ball in the last 3 downs. And this is a guy that needs to help Andrew Luck tonight climb back into the football game.
3rd down at 5. Luck. An empty set. Steps up in the pocket, throws, complete. Nice throw to Hilton. And T.Y. Hilton's got a first down for Indianapolis, a pickup of 18.
What I think this young man does better than anybody since Peyton Manning is in an innate feel in the pocket to slide and move. He's looking left. Now he slides up. His eyes always stay up. His helmet never dips. He waits. Look at the eyes. It's always up. He feels bodies around him, but he doesn't look at them. Hilton comes open late, and he puts it on.
Defensive coaches for the Titans told us yesterday his helmet never moves.
Yep.
Here's a quick opening draw to Brown, and Donald Brown almost broke free, brought down by Michael Griffin, but he picked up 9 yards.
Yeah, Mike McGlynn is a mauler. He's been in the league for 6 years. He's right here. Watch him get out and get on the edge and open it up for Donald Brown. Pulls out. Here comes Morgan. He gets him from the inside out. Really good block by the tight end also, Jack Doyle. And there's the missed tackle by the safety, Michael Griffin. And I think this is what they have to do, Brad. Play physical to get back in. Don't panic, but you got to play physical to get back in this game.
Brown stays in there on 2nd down and a yard. He'll get the carry off the right side, has the first down, barrels his way down to the 46, and that might bring quarter number 1 to a close. But the Colts, remember, they had to start this drive at their own 5-yard line, and they have worked it to the 46 of the Titans with a first down. And I don't think the Titans got all their players off the field, but I see no flags.
Yeah, they missed that one. Good call, Brad. Unless the side judge on the near side dropped the flag, which I did not see him do. But look at the bottom of your screen. Looks like Jarrell Casey, 3 defensive linemen trying to get off the field, just like Peyton Manning. There's the snap. Should have thrown the flag.
First quarter comes to a close. The Titans on their home field here in Nashville have total control, 14-0 at the end of 1. And Chuck Pagano with that challenge flag in his hand as we're just about set to start the second quarter. And
I got 3 words.
There it comes.
Yeah. Throw it, Chuck, right? I got 3 words for you. Now, here's what happened. You can see 14 guys, 3 trying to get off the field. Andrew Luck went into hurry-up mode, and he caught them. Luckily for Chuck Pagano in Indianapolis, the quarter came and gave him an opportunity to review it.
Look at instant replay.
So they're taking a look upstairs. 3 too many.
Is that Hasselbeck?
Yeah. Who used to be the Titans starting quarterback here the last time we were here, and now the backup to Andrew Luck, and he's got 3 fingers up saying, hey, they had 3 too many out there. And indeed they did. So the challenge is on, and we'll take a look at it. We'll take a quick timeout here, and we'll know the result when we come back. See which legends are one step closer to Canton as we reveal the final 25 candidates for the Hall of Fame. Class of 2014 live. Pro Football Hall of Fame, the first cut Wednesday, 10 o'clock Eastern, live on NFL Network. That guy already in the Hall of Fame, and so is his running mate and offensive line partner. They played together for a long time. Welcome back to Nashville. We're waiting on a review right here on Too Many Men on the Field. First quarter, though, let's just talk about it. Chris Johnson, we said, where's Chris Johnson? Where's Chris Johnson? We found out in the first 15 minutes, didn't we?
Best burst and acceleration I've seen all season, maybe going back to 2010 before he held out in 2011. And if you're a Colt fan, Brad, wow. I mean, what we saw last week was breakdowns, offense, defense, and special teams, and we've already seen that in the first quarter of the night.
At least the Colts have got a little something rolling here now because they started at their own 5-yard line. They've worked it into Titan territory. And again, the review is going on about having too many people on the field. The way we saw it, there was at least 3 too many out on the field when Andrew Luck got the snap off for the Colts. So here finally comes the call.
After review, the defense for the Titans had more than 11 on the field. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. It'll be first down, 5 yards to go on the 41-yard line on the Indianapolis Colt hash mark. And Indianapolis will not be charged with a team timeout.
So 5-yard walk-off, first penalty of the football game. First 15 minutes owned by the Titans, an 80-yard touchdown drive capped by Chris Johnson's 30-yard romp to the end zone, and then a 68-yard drive in 11 plays. And he capped it off with a 7-yard score. But so far, Ryan Fitzpatrick's been almost perfect. 7 out of 8, 72 yards. You see Johnson's numbers, 70 and 2 touchdowns already. And the woeful first halves continue for Indianapolis. 63-3 in the first half in the last 2 games and a quarter.
I don't understand what's going on out here. It was a simple 5-yard penalty. And if you're Indianapolis, you finally get a little something going from a momentum perspective, and now you sit around for 5 minutes.
We might go back to the first quarter. We're in a time machine, I think, right now, Mike.
At the end of the first quarter, the ball will be spotted on the Titans.
Okay. Whichever end of the field, it's going to be at the 41-yard line. Let's just pick an end, okay?
Oh, man. Okay.
We're going to go with 1st and 5 at the 41. Are you good with that?
Partner, I'm all about 1st and 5 on the 41.
All right. Second quarter mercifully begins. Donald Brown stays in at tailback. Havili, the fullback, in front of him in the eye on first down. He'll get the carry, and it's going to be a flea flicker. Luck loads up, and now he's going to have to run with it and slides for only about a 3-yard gain. Well, they wanted to take a home run shot, and good coverage by the Titans.
Yeah, it's a gadget play, and I like the call on 1st and 5, but a nice job recovering deep. He wanted the deep shot, and then he came to Hayward Bay underneath, and he was covered up. See Pollard hustling back, the safety Griffin's over top, and you know what? Jerry Gray, the defensive coordinator, is a former defensive back, and he stressed to us yesterday we can't allow any big plays.
After the scramble by Luck, picked up 3 at 2nd down and 2. Brown behind his fullback, trying to cut it up to the first down marker, and he's very close.
Yeah, Havili, the fullback, was on Ayers, and I thought Ayers did a really nice job forcing the football back inside.
It's 3rd down and less than 1. And Luck's going to line him up in a hurry here. He's going to do it himself.
Yeah.
And he gets the first down. Remember, he's a big guy, 240-pound quarterback.
And they quick snapped it, and Tennessee wasn't ready. That was another good job by Andrew Luck. Look a little bit like Tom Brady here. Look at all the movement on the other side. They're trying to figure out what's strong and weak side. And meanwhile, he gets in behind his rookie left guard, Hugh Thornton, and pushes the pile for a first down.
Looked at Thornton's 334-pound backside and said, I'm going that way. 10th play of the drive now for the Colts. Remember, they started at their own 5-yard line. Play action. Luck loads and fires. Wobbly pass down the middle, in and out of the hands of Darius Hayward Bay. Mason McCourty was back there covering. I think that was a catchable ball, but it came out of Luck's hand.
Out
I don't
funny,
know if it got tipped or if it was just a wobbly pass.
Yeah, it came out funny. He's first looking. He wants the deep over here. It's not there. He redirects his feet, and it might have been tipped by Hill right here.
Sammy Hill got a hand on it. That's why it looks so weird.
I think the more important thing is that Hayward Bay's got to catch the football. No matter how funky it looks, you need to catch that football.
Richardson back in the backfield, and now we got the right guard jumps. False start.
False start. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty for.
And this is the least penalized team in football, the Indianapolis Colts.
Mike McGlynn, the guard. That's what Mike's talking about. Puts him in a bad spot, though.
Yeah, they really need to finish here. They've got to climb back into this football game and get points on the board.
Luck in the shotgun now on 2nd down and 15. Titans thinking about a blitz. They'll back out of it. Luck's going to flare it out to Richardson in the flat. Richardson, nice spin move to get a couple extra yards out of it. And he picked up 7.
Hey, that's his 4th catch. And I don't care how you get him to 25 touches, but I think you have to get him there. And the recipe the last couple of weeks getting down so quickly, they've abandoned the run game. And I think there's a danger there.
There's the shots of Richardson picking up 7. And now they've got a 3rd down again and long. 3rd and 8. Fleener joins Luck in the backfield. Luck on the move. He's going to tuck it and run. He got a nice block. And he got buried at the 30-yard line, short of the first down.
You know, I felt coming into this game that the advantage was for these guys. Pressure on 3rd and long. If you could get Indy in 3rd and long, their inside defensive tackles are special. Their linebackers are coming. Luck feels pressure and breaks out. And remember, this is a guy at 240 pounds that ran 4.61 at the combine. So he's as athletic as they come.
Guy that's hit more big field goals maybe than anybody in a long time. Adam Vinatieri, 17 out of 20. He'll try a 48-yard field goal to put the Colts on the board. And the kick is up and tucked it just inside the right upright for the first points of the night for Indianapolis. 11:26 remaining in the first half. The Titans with a couple of near perfect drives. The Colts stalled and had to settle for 3. 14-3 is our score. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Pizza Hut. Stuffing 3 cheeses into our crust since, well, we just did it. It's new. And by Corona, who invite you to find your beach this football season. 14-3. 65-yard drive by the Colts in 13 plays. Had to settle for a Vinatieri field goal. And now McAfee set to kick away to Devin Wiley. And Wiley runs up on it a yard deep. And got to the 20, and that's all. So far, Chris Johnson's had a great first half, Mike.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about a week ago. Okay, against Jacksonville. Sticks his foot in the ground. Now, Jason Babin, there's no way he can tackle him, but he does. There's no burst, no acceleration, but tonight he's a different guy. Makes the cut, sticks the right foot in the ground, gets up the field, drops his pad level, finishes the run, and Brad, it's the most aggressive I've seen him run the football since 2010.
2 great touchdown runs tonight. 1 for 30, 1 for 7. Sean Green's in there right now to spell him. As the Titans tailback, first down from the 20. Blitz coming from the secondary. Sean Green's going to try to take it wide. Puts his shoulder down and goes over LaRon Landry.
Delaney Walker, known for his pass receiving, just buried the linebacker Pat Angerer. Coaches are talking about this being a line of scrimmage game. Watch him come across and watch him meet Angerer, who scrapes into the hole and finish the block.
Wow, right in the chin. Second down and 6. This time LaRon Landry runs up as if he's going to blitz.
Yeah, he's going to throw this, I think.
Nope. Fitzpatrick gives it off. Green. About a yard shy of the first down.
He liked the look to the right of his center. There was an overload left, and he just called a play zone away.
Brings up a 3rd down and a long yard. So we approach 10 minutes remaining in the half. Chris Johnson on the sideline in this set with a 3rd down and 1. And Fitzpatrick again, an empty backfield.
All-man coverage across the front with a single high safety. Somebody's got to win.
And trying to tuck it in there. It's knocked away, incomplete. Nice job by Cassius Vaughn on Kendall Wright. And the Titans will have to punt for the first time tonight.
Yeah, they're going to run the slant and try and rub it with the 2 guys. And there comes the natural rub right there. But a really good job by Vaughn. He grabbed the shirt a little bit, but he did a great job coming underneath and staying involved. It's hard to fight through that rub.
Fitzpatrick put that thing in there, though. Hit him right in the chest after it went through Vaughn's hands.
Yep.
Brett Kern having a great season as the Titans punter set to kick for the first time tonight. Low snap, he handles it, and this is not a good kick at all. Out of bounds on the far side of the field. So for the first time tonight, the Colts defense holds, forcing a kick, and then the offense is going to have great field position for Andrew Luck and company. They trail 14-3, but they'll have the ball at their own 46-yard line when we come back. With NFL Mobile from Verizon, get in-game highlights and up-to-the-minute news and scores from your favorite team and fantasy players. Premium subscribers can watch live games tonight, Sunday, and Monday nights, as well as NFL Red Zone and NFL Network, all live on your phone. Download today by calling ** NFL or go to NFL.com/mobile. Well, they'd like to have that guy out there right now. Reggie Wayne, future Hall of Famer, out for the rest of the season. He was Andrew Luck's favorite target, as he was Peyton Manning's favorite target for so many years. Here's Donald Brown. And Brown still on his feet. Changes the football from the left to the right hand and goes out for 16 yards and a first down. Nice run.
Really nice run. Showed some patience at the point of attack. You're going to see McGlynn get out here. Watch him cut it off McGlynn's block. They're going outside zone. McGlynn gets the piece. There's the hesitation in the burst through the hole. Nice job.
2 years ago, Brown against the Titans had a career-high night, 161 yards and a touchdown. And off to a good start tonight as he spells Trent Richardson in the Colts backfield. Luck wanted to go to him. Now he's in trouble. Tries to go back the other way and found a receiver, and it's T.Y. Hilton. And another first down.
Heavy pressure inside from Jarrell Casey, who walked McGlynn right back into his lap. A better throw. This might be a touchdown.
I guess Hilton didn't catch it. Stand corrected. So they spot it back just inside the 40-yard line.
Yeah, a better throw there, Ness. I mean, I know he was on the run and under pressure, but he had a chance to make a play there. That was a missed opportunity.
6 out of 9 so far. The 9-minute mark remaining in the quarter. Looking left all the way. Comes back on a slant, incomplete, intended for Brazil. And it's going to bring up third down and long.
Boy, Alteron Burner is one of my favorite corners in the league. You see him up top, press man. He's not going to let the receiver inside of him, Brazil, and he's going to fight him the whole way. 5 interceptions. What was his major at UCLA? Applied mathematics?
That's right. He applies all of that, he says, to the routes that the receivers run and how he can figure out the problem, as it were.
Yeah, it's a contract year and somebody's going to pay him, trust me.
Third down and 10. Empty backfield. Andrew Luck. 3 receivers to his left. Goes down the middle with it, and again, wow, he got plastered as he got rid of the football, and they're going to have to punt it.
Yeah, I mean, Mike McGlynn's a tough guy, but he's going to lose to quickness. Morgan kicks inside, beats him inside, and then you're going to get pressure from the outside. Nowhere to go.
McAfee to punt. And they had trouble last week against Tavon Austin for the most part, and the Rams, after being very good on punt coverage for most of the season. They just like to get this one down inside the 10-yard line. And is it saved? I think so. Great job by the special teams to get down there and make the play. And Sergio Brown, the special team captain, great job at the goal line.
Let's see if he steps in. He's on the line there. I think, yeah, he's in. I think they're putting this on the 20-yard line.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Kay Jewelers. Every kiss begins with Kay. And by GMC. Vote for the Never Say Never moment of the week at NFL.com/GMC. Titans from their own 20-yard line, as Mike said. Sergio Brown's foot was in the end zone when he made that play. That would have had the football at about the 2-yard line. As it is, touchback. They'll work from the 20. Chris Johnson back in and getting the carry, and this time losing a yard. Antoine Bethea from the secondary made the stop.
You know, Brad, it's one thing when you hear things from a coach. It's another when a future Hall of Fame wide receiver like Reggie Wayne grabs a young guy like LeVon Brazil, and I promise you, they're talking about that slant pass that Werner picked up. He's trying to show him how to set Werner up before he makes the slant. How cool is that for Reggie Wayne to be that involved?
Hard to replace 1,006 career catches and almost 14,000 yards and 80 touchdowns. You just don't take that out of the lineup and expect to be as good a team. Fitzpatrick fires and got it to Kendall Wright. Kendall Wright put the brakes on, goes right, goes left, and might have a first down.
Kendall Wright does a nice job breaking away from Jarrell Freeman. Freeman, number 50 there. Watch right, run right at him, and then break away from him. He throws him, broke away, and then makes him miss in the open field.
Last year, tied with Justin Blackman among rookies for the most catches, 64. Third down and a yard. Johnson's got it, and again, he keeps the legs driving and picks up 4.
I love this graphic, Brad. 2 guys in the same draft class, 9-year veterans. Alex Smith was the first guy drafted. Fitzpatrick, the 250th. Look at the similarity in every line item except for interceptions. Alex Smith takes care of the football, and the Achilles heel for Ryan Fitzpatrick in his career is at some point in the game he just can't help himself, and he tries to fit it in and gets it picked off.
Of course, Alex Smith, quarterback in the undefeated Chiefs. They play the Broncos on Sunday night. Fitzpatrick starting for his 4th team here in his 9-year career. As we check in with Alex.
So Brad and Mike, it was really critical, the Titans said coming into this game, that they get Ryan Fitzpatrick feeling comfortable early on in this game. You know, of course, he's a pretty veteran quarterback making his 71st start in the NFL. I asked him tonight, though, what was different about this particular start. He said playing under the lights. He said not only is it an opportunity for me to prove to my teammates what I can do, but to prove to the nation what I can do. He's done a pretty good job so far tonight.
He certainly has. Even though the touchdowns have come from Chris Johnson, he's the guy that's engineered him down the field. Shotgun. Here's a slip screen out to Kendall Wright. Nice tackle defensively by Robert Mathis.
Well, he does a great job of getting rid of the football quickly. The Colts were up in double-A gap pressure. They were bringing all kinds of inside pressure. Look at the hustle by Mathis on the edge.
How good is he, huh? In kind of a different spot. The last 3 years he's been at a different position. Sometimes it's a defensive end, sometimes it's an outside linebacker, sometimes it's a hybrid position, which right now he's standing up on 3rd down and 2. But this is where he's most comfortable, he tells us, the position he's playing right now. Fitzpatrick got hit as he threw, and incomplete. No flag. Nate Washington's looking for one, and he's not going to get it. Or did he? There is a flag down, but it's at the line of scrimmage.
Fitzpatrick gets a big hit from behind. They're going to... He almost pulled the jersey off.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both of them against Indianapolis. Pass interference, defense number 32 is declined. Roughing the passer, blow to the head, and 98 is accepted. 15 yards from the previous spot.
Now, they're going to slide everything away. The quarterback has to know there's an unblocked defender. It's Mathis. The ruling there is the shot to the head. It's not a late hit. And when a quarterback's in the pocket, he's protected. And basically your strike zone is from below the neck to above the knees. Anything above the neck is going to get a flag.
So just when we're talking about Mathis' hustle on one play, comes back and has a big penalty that will take the football down inside the 45-yard line. As we're inside 5.5 minutes. Titans with a 14-3 lead and back in Colts territory. Shaw Green back in the Titans backfield behind Fitzpatrick, and he'll get the stretch call. Nothing doing. Matt Anger went on the stop, and now we got flags in the secondaries. We've got a fight going on downfield. Justin Hunter was involved in that skirmish. Rookie out of Tennessee.
After the ball was dead, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 32. From the dead ball spot, 15 yards, automatic. First down.
So first it was Mathis, now Cassius Vaughn, and there's 33 yards awarded the Titans.
Now remember, Vaughn doesn't know if it's a run or a pass at this point, and then it looks like they're trying to block him, but at the very end, I don't know how you call that on either guy, Brad.
As it is, the Titans moving down the field by flag at the 29-yard line. Chris Johnson bounces it outside. Dives for 4 yards.
Another one, huh?
Yep. And more flags. And now we got helmets off. Delaney Walker's in the mix on this one. And it's getting a little chippy here in the AFC South. There's a helmet way down by about the 10-yard line. And it's Walker's, obviously, picked up by one of his teammates.
Delaney Walker right in the middle of your screen. There goes the helmet off. Walden pulls it off.
And then a
got it. I got to tell you what, that's got to be an ejection right there. Walker did a great job keeping his cool.
They continue to move it down the field by penalty flags all the way down around the 10-yard line, and now wait and see if Mr. Walden's going to stay in the football game.
How do you headbutt a guy without a helmet? Now, I know you're talking. No, come on. I know he's talking to you, but you ripped his helmet off. You can't headbutt a guy without a helmet. That's horrible.
And he's saying he should be out of here, and I agree, Delaney. As it is, the football's at the 13-yard line. Nate Washington in motion. Johnson cuts back inside the 10 to the 9. And again, they're trying to separate people at the end of the play.
Brad, what do you make of back-to-back unsportsmanlike penalties on the least penalized team in the NFL?
This has been a drive all by flag for the most part.
Yep.
Again, they can get a first down at the 4.
And this is where Indianapolis needs to kind of compose themselves, make a stand, and take some of the emotion out of the game. You got to make a play here.
Because they don't want to be down 21-3 at halftime either. Johnson, long handoff. Fitzpatrick barely got it to him. And he lost a yard.
It's a good call, Ness. They had a fumble last week because Jake Locker had trouble getting the football to his tailback. Here's Mathis. Working on big country. That's the right tackle. David Stewart.
So now it's a third down and 8. Down to the 3-minute mark. 3 wideouts all to Fitzpatrick's left. He's going to call a timeout. Didn't like the looks of something.
Tennessee, their first.
They're barking at each other still.
Yeah, the officials got to get control of this thing right now because it is getting about as chippy as you can get. Speaking of chippy, next Thursday it could get a little chippy in Atlanta. That's because the Saints and the Falcons aren't crazy about each other as well. Drew Brees, Jimmy Graham, Matt Ryan, Tony Gonzalez. NFC South Falcons Saints from the Dome in Atlanta next Thursday night. And the standings, that's not what Atlanta was looking for. Coming off a 13-win season, that's for sure.
But Carolina's coming on, partner.
Yes, they are.
They're playing great defense. Sean McDermott's guy. I think they're the number 2 points allowed team in the entire NFL. Love to see Atlanta come up and make a great game next week in their home dome. Your home city.
It'll be fun.
Yep.
Always is when they get together. Fitzgerald has only targeted 2 receivers tonight. Walker is tight end and Kendall Wright. You expect he's going to go to one of those guys as well here on 3rd down and 8. If he can get the pass away. It's Patrick on the run. He'll try to run for it, and he's going to get knocked out of bounds. And we got another flag. Jarrell Freeman knocked Fitzpatrick out of bounds. It appeared as he had already gotten to the sideline.
I want to see if Fitzpatrick okey-doked them into this one.
If anything, it was after taking off.
Or in this case, Harvarded them in to that one. Chuck Pagano's going, come on. He can't have another flag.
He gave him a funky little leg movement.
Wow.
The contact was inadvertent with the feet.
Here comes Fitzpatrick. Gives him the little pump fake and the high step. And now he says, I better get out of bounds. And that's a great job by the Colts of laying off And a really good job by the side judge right there, not throwing the flag.
So it's 4th down. And it'll be Rob Baronis out to attempt the field goal of 25 yards. It's 13 out of 16 on the year. Trying to make it a 2-touchdown advantage again for the Titans, and he has. Up and good. So most of that drive was by penalty, but the Titans make it pay, and they're up 17-3. In honor of our nation's military, for every point scored during the NFL's 32 Salute to Service games, the league will donate $100 to each of its nonprofit partners, the Pat Tillman Foundation, USO, and Wounded Warriors Project. You can join the salute and learn more. Visit NFL.com/salutes. Well, a 2-touchdown lead again for the Titans as they went 73 yards in 11 plays. 41 of those yards, though, by penalty. 3 big penalties led to the field goal. Andrew Luck over there on the sideline, hopping up and down, trying to stay warm and trying to warm up the Colts offense. Pretty stagnant tonight. Kick will go. David Reed. Again, it takes a funny bounce. This time he takes a knee, and they'll bring it out to the 20. Well, Colts have been in this position before, and in one of those cases, they dug themselves out of a hole. In the Rams case, they never got close. They lost 38-8. Let's see what they can do tonight.
From my perspective, Tennessee's winning the football game up front on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Pep Hamilton, the offensive coordinator, told us they've got to get back to his DNA. Grind the football, body punches, but it's hard to do that when you're 14 or more points down.
And as far as Andrew Luck, he's only hit one of his last 5 passes. He's been pressured straight up the middle by this Titan defensive front. This time he steps into the throw and completes it, and he got it. To Wesley Saunders, the tight end, for a pickup of 11. And now the Colts will hustle up to the line and try to utilize the remaining 2:20 here. Move the sticks to the 31. Luck again on 1st down. And this time, same guy, and he dropped it.
Wide open. Got hands like feet. Saunders was more of a blocking tight end coming out of South Carolina.
I wonder why.
I'm just teasing.
Okay. 2nd down and 10. Again, Luck in the gun. Donald Brown remains in the backfield. Luck again. The pressure came up the middle, and he got right in the chest as he threw that one. Akeem Ayers that time got to him.
Yeah, they brought 6, and Donald Brown is going to have to get some pass protection and protect his quarterback. I like the way he ate grass up and got away from his quarterback, but he didn't stay square. Akeem Ayers ran him right over, made the hit. Can't throw the football off your back.
Now they've got him right where they want him, the Titans defense. 3rd down and 10.
You see all that pressure right up the middle. Those 2 linebackers are either come or drop off.
They're going to drop. So does Luck, and the throw is incomplete. Broken up. Wow. By McCourty. And a flag down.
Yep.
Pass interference. Defense number 33 in the spot of the foul. Automatic 1st down. That's a 2-minute warning.
A look of surprise on the defense. There's the call and the flag at the 2-minute warning. Back in Music City, USA, Broadway. You can't find great music down there, you're not trying. Colts and the Titans on Thursday Night Football, the 2-minute warning. Brad Nessler, Mike Mayock, Alex Flanagan, our NFL Network crew with you from Nashville, where the Titans control things by 2 touchdowns at the 2-minute mark. 1st and 10 for Indianapolis from the 40. Luck throws a screen to Donald Brown. Brown weaves his way for a 1st down and still on his feet. Got about 14 out of it. And they're into Titans territory.
Little screen pass to Brown. You'll see 75, the right guard, do a nice job hooking the inside player, keeping him inside so Brown can get to the outside and pick up a first down.
Colts with 2 timeouts remaining. Luck steps up to the throw, and down goes T.Y. Hilton. Almost looked like he got tangled up with the umpire out there. At any rate, incomplete. He's had some good throws tonight, and then he's had some kind of strange ones. They have done a good job not allowing points by the opposition and scoring their own in the final 2 minutes, the Titans this year. At the 46-yard line, 2nd down and 10. Trent Richardson back in the backfield with Luck. Throw over the middle. Hayward Bay gets out of bounds with a first down at the 35. A minute 23 remaining in the half. Stick around at the end of the half. Rich and the guys will be standing by with the Chiefs-Broncos preview. And is there trouble in Pittsburgh? That's all coming up on the Lexus halftime show in a minute 23 seconds. Hasn't really been a deep ball tonight for the Colts. Hilton and Hayward Bay, the wideouts, left and right respectively for Luck. And again, he comes to Trent Richardson on a short route across the middle, pick up a 5 to the 31. They're going to hurry up to the line, not take a timeout here.
They're having trouble getting the football down the field. Wide receivers have only caught 2 passes tonight.
On a 2nd and 5, Luck goes down the middle, got it to Fleener, and Fleener's got a first down at the 15. And they want to clock it here. They're going to call a timeout here instead. Chuck Pagano came down the sideline to call the timeout. 52 seconds remaining in the half. Colts driving and down 14. Titans defense, we told you they've been good in the final 2 minutes, but in the red zone not so much, and that's where the Colts are right now at the 15-yard line.
And they pretty much shut Indianapolis out in the pass game this entire half, playing heavy man-to-man, and then in the last couple minutes they've gone to a soft zone, and Andrew Luck's eating them apart.
Colts took over at their own 20 with 2:32 left. Now they're in the 9th play of the drive. Fleener, the tight end's the wide out to the top of your screen. He comes back the other way. Luck gets it to Hilton, and taken out of bounds at the 9 by Cody Sensabaugh. That stops the clock with 46 seconds remaining.
That time they went back to man-to-man. They did a good job coming out of a tight bunch, and he beat Sensabaugh to the sideline.
Out at the 9-yard line. Last Sunday against the Rams, all kinds of problems down here. Right now they can make it a 17-10 game at the break if they can get it in the end zone in the final 46 seconds. Fleener is in motion. Blitz coming. Luck in trouble. He's going to throw this one out of the back of the end zone. Jarrell Casey was giving chase.
And Casey's got 7 sacks this year. The pressure he's been able to get on quarterbacks, and you can see Casey right in here. He's going to loop outside. There comes the linebacker inside. He comes outside, and at 305 pounds, he's as quick a defensive tackle as there is in football.
Big 3rd down for the Colts. 3rd and 5 at the 9. Luck trying to run, and he's dragged down by Derek Morgan. First sack of the ball game.
Gosner Charles is a solid tackle, but he does get beat across his face occasionally. Morgan comes up the field, and now he's going to work back under. That's a heck of a move by Morgan. His 4th sack of the season.
Former #1 pick out of Georgia Tech. And the Colts are going to have to settle for a field goal attempt again. Vinatieri, a 30-yard field goal attempt to try to make it 17-6, and timeout.
Indianapolis
taken by the Colts. That's their final timeout with 2 seconds remaining. Adam Vinatieri, 30-yard field goal attempt. He's hit one already tonight, and this one is up and good. His 19th successful field goal of the season, and that brings the half to a close. Tennessee totally dominated the first quarter with a couple of touchdowns, and at the break they've got a 17-6 lead over their AFC South opponents. Remember, stick around. Rich and the guys with the Lexus halftime show is next.
Hey, y'all, I'm Blake Shelton. Welcome to my city.
Here's Johnson, and you can kiss it goodbye. He's in. Touchdown.
That might be the best run he's had in 3 years.
Tennessee totally dominated the half. Blake Shelton, we thank you for joining us. Small Town Big Time, 14 #1 country hits, Country Music Association Entertainer of the Year last year between he and his wife Miranda Lambert. I don't know where they put all the hardware, but we're back in Nashville, Music City, USA. 17-6 as we take a look and check out the Volkswagen first half game summary. Not much to speak of on the ground for the Colts. The Titans have had a big night on the ground. As we welcome you back, Brad Nessler and Mike Mayock. That was a story coming in, partner. Could Chris Johnson be the Chris Johnson of old, and could the Colts get something going? Yes on one half, no on the other.
I think Tennessee's dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides. This is how dumb I am. I got a text before the game saying from a friend, should I add Chris Johnson to my fantasy team this week? I said, well, historically against the Colts, he struggles, and he hasn't run the ball well this year. What's he do? 13 for 80 with 2 scores. I'm really sorry.
Well, he told Alex before the game 100 yards was the goal to get one against the Colts finally. He's well on his way. And the Titans with a 17-6 lead as we're just about set to start the third quarter. David Reed waiting on Barona's kick along with Levon Brazil. So a big half to go here in the AFC South. Will the gap get closed between first and second place, or can the Colts come from behind? They have it first to start the third quarter, and they'll have it around the 25-yard line as we check in with Alex.
So, Brad, Titans head coach Mike Munchak crediting the Titans defense with being able to push the Colts offensive line back. It's made it hard for the Colts to run, and it's made it hard for Andrew Luck to step up into the pocket. He says that will be a key for them in the second half of this game. Chuck Pagano told his team that he knew that it would be a physical game, but at the half he talked to them about keeping their composure. He's disappointed about the number of yards they gave up to penalties and told his team, continue the physicality, but keep your composure in the second half.
Yeah, that field goal drive was all by penalty, basically, to get to the 17th point for the Titans. First play, third quarter. Luck off play action gets it out to Kobe Fleener, and it's a pickup of 15.
And I think there's a trust factor between Luck and Fleener, especially with Reggie Wayne gone. Reggie Wayne was his #1 guy. Obviously, teammates at Stanford. I think right now you're looking at T.Y. Hilton and Kobe Fleener as the 2 go-to guys as they try to reestablish their identity.
Let it roll.
Colts had 14 straight pass plays to end the first half, and they open up the third quarter with a pass. Now they go back to the ground. Trent Richardson, tough run out to the 47. That's after the 47. We're at second down at 5. Trent Richardson again tonight has not had a big run. Of course, he came in the trade in late September from the Browns for a #1 pick. He's still looking for a breakout game. They fake it to him, and Luck steps up in the pocket. Now he's going to run. He's going to get the first down and a bunch more. And again, shows his athletic ability all the way down to the 40-yard line. 13-yard run by Andrew Luck.
Yeah, immediate pressure up the middle. See the starting center, Satelli, struggle a little bit there. 91, Derek Morgan with pressure again, but at 6'4", 240 pounds. Anybody that doesn't think he's athletic didn't watch him at the Combine a couple years ago. His numbers comparable across the board to Cam Newton.
First down at the 40. Back to Richardson. And Richardson fighting his way for 7 or 8 yards, still going. Best run of the night by Trent Richardson.
And, you know, I talked about this guy's pocket awareness, and it's the best I've seen from a young quarterback. Defensive coordinator Jerry Gray said, watch his helmet. It never comes down. He slides and moves in the pocket, but the eyes always stay down the field. There's the movement. I thought he could have made a play here. Bad throw, but good movement. And then finally, climb the pocket, eyes down the field, redirect your feet. That ball should have been caught by Bay.
2nd down and 3, back to an I backfield with Avili in there as a fullback, and it's Richardson following him. Ooh, he got stood up though at the line of scrimmage, got a yard, and that's all. Colin McCarthy, one of the first to meet him. The Toatua, also the big guy on the defensive end, 300-pounder out of Washington State. And it brings up 3rd down and short.
I enjoyed talking with him last night. One of his comments he made about the ground game is, we are committed to pain. It's got to be a meat grinder attitude to run the football, and that's what we're seeing right now.
If it's going to be a run here, it's going to be a quarterback draw.
That's right.
3rd down and 2.
They got to get Tennessee's got to get out of 2 high safeties.
Luck throws short. It's Hilton. He's got a 1st down. Run out of bounds on the far side. Around the 26-yard line.
Can you believe I just called Tennessee Houston?
I've been waiting for one of us to do it all night, but
when you spread the field and go empty, it's really difficult to stay with 2 high safeties and cover. And I felt like that was stealing. I think there was a miscommunication on the Tennessee side, and an easy 1st down for Indianapolis.
1st down is a 25. Donald Brown comes back in now at the tailback spot. He'll get the carry. And he'll get to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Boy, Casey is so active even in the run game. He takes Hugh Thornton, the rookie 3rd-round guard. Watch what he does to this rookie guard right here. Okay? Good contact in the hole. He's double-teamed, spins out of it, and forces the cut. He gets a piece of the tackle, but that's about as athletic a play in the run game as you're ever going to see a defensive tackle.
He's been their leading tackler on the defensive line for the first 2 years and again this season. Quick throw to the 20 to Fleener, a pickup of 5, and it's still going to bring up 3rd down and 5. That's a big drive for Indianapolis right here. Trailing 17-6, a touchdown would be great. Even a field goal puts it at a 1-score game, however.
And I think it's the kind of drive Pep Hamilton envisions in the 1st half.
Yeah.
Run the football, short control, passing attack, let that guy control the game.
9th play of the drive. It's taken the opening 5 minutes of the quarter. And now Andrew Luck throws across the middle, and he's got his man, and it's another Stanford guy, Griff Whalen. And it's a 1st down for the Colts.
And he beats Sensabaugh, the nickelback, off the line of scrimmage. Watch him beat him across his face. Sensabaugh lets him get inside by opening up. That's too easy. Now Sensabaugh is going to run a 40 in 4.4. Whalen's going to run it in 4.7. But he wins the initial fight off the line of scrimmage, and the ball's put on him.
And he ran right behind the middle linebacker, Colin McCarthy, to make that grab at the 14. 1st down. Luck again across the middle. Hilton put the brakes on and got 7 or so.
And that's a good call, Brad. He put the brakes on so he didn't run into the outside linebacker. And a good throw by Luck, not leading him into that linebacker.
If they continue to throw, big number 80 again is one of Luck's favorite targets. Toby Fleener, the tight end.
They've got the fullback way wide, and Werner's on him, so they know it's zone coverage.
Brown in the backfield will get the toss. And Donald Brown skips his way and powers his way to a touchdown, Indianapolis. Anthony Costanzo got out there, the tackle with a lead block, and a great-looking opening drive here in the 3rd quarter for the Colts.
You know what? Costanzo got a great block, but also Satelli, the center. Watch them both pull and get out in front, locate their defender. There goes the initial block on Pollard. Now watch Satelli, 2nd level. He cleans up, and Brown accelerates through.
They mentioned 2 years ago he had a huge game against the Titans. Well, he's got the first touchdown of the night now for the Colts. Vinatieri's point after is good. Almost half the quarter they took to get it to number 31. He did the final 6 yards of a 74-yard drive, and we got a ball game. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by the Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event. Visit VWDealer.com. And by Verizon. Never be without football. Call ** NFL to download NFL Mobile from Verizon. In Nashville, a 74-yard drive in 11 plays, and they had almost as much rushing yardage in that drive as they had the whole first half.
And rushing attempts, and I think that's what they want it to look like right there.
Plus, Andrew Luck was 5 for 5 on that drive. Wiley from the 1-yard line. And he lost the ball. And I think the Colts have got it at the 20. They do. Wiley with a fumble kickoff. Might be Boom Herron on the bottom of the pile. They're still unpiling.
It was, Ness. And Boom Herron was the first guy down the field that broke up the initial block, and then he got the fumble.
Former Ohio State running back on the special teams.
Wiley carrying that ball awfully loosely, hits his own man, and loses the football because of his own man, and then Boom Herron's going to jump on it. My, how this game has changed in a short period of time.
I guess. So at the 20-yard line, the Colts with an opportunity to take the lead if they score.
I hate to tell you this, Ness, because it's embarrassing to me. I had 1 carry in the NFL for 9 yards on a kickoff return, and I fumbled it in exactly the same situation, except we didn't lose it.
Well, we'll see what happens with this one. At the 20. Luck's going to take a shot here. Maybe. Throws it short. Was sidearmed it to Avili, the fullback, and he got 9 yards out of it. Moves up 2nd down and 1 at the 11.
And again, just sliding and moving, checking it down. That's 6 for 6 for Luck in the second half. All the momentum going Pep Hamilton's way.
First turnover of the ball game, and the Colts trying to take advantage of it. 2 tight ends set. Trent Richardson back behind Luck. They'll move Havili, the fullback. And it's Luck running it himself, and he's in. Touchdown, Colts. 11 yards. And Andrew Luck in the end zone for the 4th time, using his legs this year.
Boy, was that athletic. He pumped it out wide to Griff Whalen. I think he's going to throw a smoke where it's supposed to be a run, but he's going to throw it out real quick to Griff Whalen. I'm not sure Whalen was ready, or Derek Morgan jumped up in the way, but that just shows how quick he is both in mind and in body.
As soon as he got Derek Morgan airborne, he knew he was going to run.
It was like basketball,
yep.
Right? Pump, fake, and go.
Exactly.
That was pretty.
And we had a false start on the extra point.
From the 7.
So that's going to back up Vinatieri another 5. Talked about Luck and his running ability. He showed it there, and he's given his team a lead courtesy of that fumble on the kickoff by Wiley. So now Vinatieri, in essence, a 25-yard extra point. And still perfect right down the middle. As Mike said, how quickly a game can change. In a matter of 51 seconds, the Titans went from the lead to being down 3. Chuck Pagano goes, that away, kid. Way to use your head, or in this case, your legs. 11-yard touchdown run after the fumble by Wiley. And he's back there again as McAfee's set to kick off. Dramatic turn of events here in Nashville in the last minute of play. Here's Wiley from the 2. And Wiley trying to make up for what he did on the last play. Got out to about the 24-yard line. That's where the Titans will go back to work for the first time offensively in a long time. And now they trail in the game. 2014 Pro Bowl balloting presented by McDonald's is open now. For the first time ever, you can vote for the best players regardless of conference. Then the stars will be realigned when Pro Football Hall of Famers Jerry Rice and our own Deion Sanders draft the teams as alumni captains. Vote now online on your mobile device at NFL.com/Pro Bowl ballot. Titans, this is the first time they're out there offensively since way back in the second quarter. The first 24 plays, or the last 24 plays, have been the Colts. And on the first play from scrimmage, a 2-yard loss.
Nice job by Abreu Franklin, because that's a double screen. They fake the screen one way, come back the other, and Franklin just tracked it the whole time.
Fitzpatrick is 11 out of 13, but for only 87 yards right now.
And I think what Indianapolis is doing is what Chuck Pagano said to Alex at halftime, is kind of reestablishing the line of scrimmage and being physical.
Hey, Chicago!
Fitzpatrick changing things up on a 2nd down and 12. Get the play off with 1 second on the play clock. Crossing pattern complete to Delaney Walker again, the tight end. Jim Irsay, Colts owner, looking on, his team in front, courtesy of a touchdown and then a quick turnover and another touchdown by Andrew Luck. And same kind of story last December. Titans had a 20-7 halftime lead, and the Colts ended up winning. Right now, they've scored 17 unanswered points.
And Luck did it to him twice last year. He brought fourth quarter comebacks both games against Tennessee.
The Colts have won 8 of the last 9 in this series. Blitz coming on 3rd and 6. Fitzpatrick, they're going to get to him. The blitz did get to him. Eric Walden is the guy that brought it, and he's the guy that got it. Second sack of the night, and it's 3 and out for the Titans when they desperately needed to get something going. So Brett Kern, his first punt of the night was not up to par for what he's been doing so far in the first half of the season. T.Y. Hilton waits back at the 25.
Let it go! Let it go!
Hilton camps into this one at the 26-yard line. And straight ahead, flags down as he gets out across the 40-yard line. Maybe there wasn't a flag. Thought I saw one. Well, the Colts went from struggling to looking really good in a matter of about 10 minutes. They picked up the flag with 5:16 remaining. Colts with the lead and the football when we come back to Music City. Indianapolis with 2 touchdowns within a matter of a minute in this third quarter with the lead, and now with the ball as well at their own 42-yard line. Trent Richardson trying to follow his fullback. Got a couple. Eric Morgan in on the tackle.
Now Casey ends up on his back and makes the play here. Now here he is. Watch him head this way, end up on his back, and still make the play. Gets tripped, but he sees the ball carrier. Just stays involved.
Yep. All the way to the ground, and then help from Morgan at the end. 2nd down and 8. Avili, the fullback, comes out as a wide receiver to the right. Luck's going complete to Hilton. Just a little bit short of the first down, I think.
You know, the whole thing about him as an athlete, that picture is worth 1,000 words. He's going to break off Michael Griffin here. Bang, broken ankle. Remember, he ran 4.6 at the combine, and then the touchdown, the pump fake, Morgan goes up in the air, make you miss, touchdown.
And then come back to a quarterback sneak, and it's close.
Yeah, this time they were ready for him. Remember, he quick snapped him early in the game.
And he's trying to see where they're going to put the spot.
Yes, somebody did a great job getting under Mike McGlynn on the right side, and there was no push whatsoever until the end when Trent Richardson pushed his quarterback from behind. Well, it looks, that's Casey, and then McCarthy over the top, and then 34, Richardson, the tailback, pushes him.
With the spot, if you look at the chains on the far side of the field, I think he's got it by the nose of the football, but they're going to bring the sticks out and have a look.
Yeah, I'm not sure that football ever got near that yellow line.
There's where they're holding it. As they bring it in closer, that's the nose of the football. First down.
Now, it's really hard to challenge these plays because when there's a pile of humanity, where's the football? But I didn't think he got near the mark.
So the Colts are back in Titan territory at the 48-yard line. Luck 166 yards, 33 on the ground, including the last 2 feet. And now we may have a challenge. A timeout.
That last look we had before the measurement, right down the line, it didn't look to me like he got it.
First down is being challenged by Tennessee. Timeout.
Now his initial push, there's nothing. Watch him get pushed back. Gets pushed back. Now the tailback's going to push him. I still don't see where that football can get to the yard to go marker.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by USAA, proudly serving the financial needs of current and former military members and their families. Again, on the quarterback sneak by Andrew Luck. Here's one more look at it on 3rd down and less than a yard. Hit immediately over the top, and then did the surge carry him to the first down.
But his back is to the marker over here, so the football's got to be in his stomach. I don't think he gets near it, to be honest.
Challenge made by Mike Munchak.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Indianapolis.
I mean, that's why it's so hard, Brad, because in that humanity, you can't find the football.
Timeout charged. And Mike Munchak not happy about it. A lost challenge, and there goes a timeout that they might need somewhere down the line. Meanwhile, it's a first down at the 48 for the Colts. They have the lead after 2 quick touchdowns. Toss to Trent Richardson. Heads to the corner and slipped a little bit, and then Michael Griffin made sure he didn't regain his balance. Griffin had over 100 tackles last year, 2-time Pro Bowler. Had never missed a game in his NFL career until the first week of November. A veteran out of Texas.
Yeah, he's the prototypical center fielder. He's much better as a free safety. Pollard, more of a box guy.
Donald Brown back in there in the backfield with Luck in the shotgun on 2nd down and 7. Throws quickly, and Fleener's got it for a first down. And again, there is Griffin, but Fleener picked up 8.
Now Michael Griffin is playing off. It's man-to-man right here. Fleener thinks it might be a hot, meaning a blitz, because he turned around and looked right away, so he wanted to make sure his quarterback was protected if they were bringing more than they could block, and then he just finishes the route. His hands are phenomenal.
Yeah. Like we talked about, Luck had a little bit of trouble with his accuracy in the first half. Now he's hit his last 8 passes. Play action here. Flush by Morgan. Throws, slips as he threw it for Fleener. So there goes the string of 8 straight. And Derek Morgan was given chase.
Yeah, Costanzo, the left tackle, gets beat across his face by Morgan. And then Richardson fails to get a piece. Derek Morgan, very quietly, is having a nice year for this team. And I believe their defensive line, from a talent and ability to get to the quarterback perspective, is as deep as any in the league.
Titans just haven't had the football this quarter, as you just saw. It has 2 minutes, 10 seconds remaining. Empty set on 2nd down and 10 for Luck. Quick throw. Fleener again had to catch that a couple of times. And he picked up half the yardage needed. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, and I like the read. He knew it was man-to-man immediately, put it on him, and now you've got a manageable 3rd down.
You're in field goal territory right now. You got a 3-point lead inside of 2 minutes in the 3rd.
And it's pretty simple to see. There's a single high safety, and it's man coverage across the board.
Last time he hit Whalen for a 1st down. This time he's going to throw to Whalen and out of bounds.
Great coverage by Sensabaugh.
So they are going to have to settle for a 3-point attempt.
He's going to run kind of a wheel route or an out and up, whatever you want to call it. Sensabaugh doesn't bite on the out. Hip to hip there. Nice job in a key 3rd down situation by the nickelback Sensabaugh.
Vinatieri has hit a couple already tonight. This is going to be a 50-yarder. In his 18th year, oldest guy in the league, but still got a big right leg. Vinatieri from 50. How many big-time kicks has this guy hit? Wow. There's another one. Vinatieri from 50. I love it when the old guys come through. 23-17. Back in Nashville. Reminder for you, NFL Game Rewind includes coaches' film and full replays of every game, including replays like that 50-yard field goal. Get free access to NFL Game Rewind now. Sign up for a free trial at NFL.com/Game Rewind. So 3 more, 20 unanswered points for the Colts and a 23-17 lead. And they basically had the entire quarter to themselves. Let's see if Titans can do something with it in the final minute and a half. Goes out of bounds, and they'll get good field position out of this on the short kick. And McAfee's going, I don't know what I was doing there. But he didn't get the job done the way he wanted. Ryan Fitzgerald set to go back to work. Fitzpatrick, I should say, 7th-round draft pick out of Harvard. We mentioned number 250. And then the Rams, the Bengals, and the Bills. Over 15,000 career passing yards. A record for an Ivy League quarterback. Who was next in line? Sid Luckman, the next guy, I think, as far as Ivy League passing.
Kemp, Marty Domrays. I'm just,
you named a bunch of guys.
Yeah, a bunch of Dartmouth guys had a lot of yards.
Ready? Here we go. Johnson, who had the big first quarter, backpedals for 5 there. Pat Anger in on the stop.
Yeah, Freeman got a piece of that too. It was just a great story out of a tiny school. Mary Hardin Baylor. See him right here. Runs 4.59. Big difference there. Gets a piece along with Anger.
Actually started off as a free agent with the Titans before he went to Saskatchewan of the CFL and worked his way back to the NFL.
Ready? Here we go.
Here's Johnson for a couple more.
Brad, he told me before the game he actually got cut twice by the Titans that year. They brought him to camp, cut him, brought him back, cut him again, went to Canada, and here he is back in Canada. Back in college. Mary Hardin Baylor said he was 205 pounds, Division III football, just scraping for any opportunity to get a chance with an NFL team. Got cut, went up to Canada, played in Saskatchewan for 3 years. And boys, he become a great football player.
That's going to be a 1st down throw. Ron Landry puts the tackle on Delaney Walker, but he got the 1st down, and that's going to bring the 3rd quarter to a close. Quite a difference between our halftime score and the end of 3. The Colts own the quarter. Who's going to win the 4th? And the AFC South battle, we'll find out from Nashville when we come back. Back in Nashville, our Thursday night football, Colts and Titans goes to the 4th quarter, a 4th and deciding quarter, 23-17. At halftime, it was all Tennessee. The 3rd quarter belonged to the Colts. And the 4th quarter starts with a 1st down at midfield. Chris Johnson comes out, empties the backfield for Fitzpatrick, and comes out as a wide receiver to the right. First play of the quarter from midfield, and a crossing route, and it's Kendall Wright. And Kendall Wright goes for another 11 yards. So they right back in Colts territory. This is where the Titans have to answer right now, Mike.
Yeah, and I think we're starting to see they're right back to what they did the first half. No huddle, up-tempo. Fitzpatrick controls at the line of scrimmage. What I like, though, about the Colts in the third quarter, they got back to the run game. They had 10 carries in the third quarter, only 8 in the whole first half.
Here's Fitzpatrick giving off. Chris Johnson trying to bounce it out to the right after immediately going up the middle. And he's only going to get about a yard out of it before he's swarmed under Walden and Vaughn and company are there for the Colts.
That's really small hands.
Let's check in with Alex.
Brad, you just see the Colts doing a much better job in the second half of setting the edge when it comes to playing Chris Johnson. It was something that Chuck Pagano told me that they focused on at halftime. They kind of have a motto, the Colts do: no edge, no chance when it comes to playing Chris Johnson. We saw how that worked in the second half, but of course they've adjusted in the second half to that.
And Fitzpatrick again in an empty set on 2nd down and 9. And that one should have been caught by Craig Stevens. Couldn't hold it.
Stevens only has 1 catch. He's much more of a blocking tight end.
That's still only the 3rd guy that Fitzpatrick has thrown to.
Greg Minuski, talk about an old school football coach.
It's fun to talk to him, isn't it?
It really, I run into him in airports all over the place for pro days and everything, and he'll talk football every hour of the night, 24/7. And when you talk about setting an edge like Alex did, they came out of the locker room, and I think they had a little bit different idea about how to stop Chris Johnson in the second half.
Kendall Wright in motion into a slot on the left side as Fitzpatrick fires, and it's Walker, the tight end, first down. Big throw there. They needed that one. Vontae Davis runs him out of bounds, but he's got it all the way down to the 20-yard line.
Really good block by Justin Hunter at the end of that. Held his block for a long time. Another crossing route. Here he is, boom, going across the field. Now look at the block at the top. Right there, Justin Hunter does a heck of a job covering up his guy. If Walker could have gotten inside, he probably scores.
Titans at the 20. Sean Green back in there. Look at the call. Green bounces it outside and picked up about 6.
And they might get Levitre on a hold here. Michael Roos did a great job kicking out the defensive end, Mathis.
Holding, offense number 60. 10-yard penalty is still first down.
He's going to call it on the center, Spencer.
Roos, great job here, but then the center is going to get called for a hold. Chris Spencer, you can see him holding on right there, very obvious. And Brad, 2 weeks ago they had their best rushing game of the season, and I think because Brian Schwenke, their 4th-round pick out of Cal, played center, one of the best young run-blocking centers I've seen come into this league, and I think it takes a hit when he's out of the lineup.
Again, Kendall Wright, they fake it to him, and they finally get it in the hands of Chris Johnson on a screen, but nowhere to hide. First time they've thrown it to him, and he loses 3.
Ricky Jean-Francois. How do you say that?
I love the way you say it.
Ricky Jean-Francois right here gets a good feel. See, I just love how he crosses the face of Michael Roos when he sees both the center and the tailback going the same direction like that.
Again, 5 receivers for Fitzpatrick. 2nd down and a bunch. And got it to Kendall Wright. It's taken out of bounds by Darius Butler.
Kendall Wright was former 1st-round pick out of Baylor, played with RG3. At 50 receptions heading into. Now they're working him on the inside against the nickel, Darius Butler. You can see he's got some shake to him. Reminds me a little bit of a young Greg Jennings. You can line him up inside, you can line him up outside. He's quick, he's fast, and he's tough.
And he thought he should have been roughed up and the flag thrown on the far side, but there wasn't one. 3rd down and 10. Fitzpatrick again going to Kendall Wright. He doesn't hold this one. Pat Angerer was right there. And now the field goal unit's going to have to come on to try to make it a field goal game.
Wright wanted to step the route down about 3 steps prior to that. Fitzpatrick let him longer, and he knew Angerer was coming. Still should have caught the football.
So Rob Baronis in for the field goal attempt of 38 yards. He hit from 39 and 37 last week. And try to make it a 3-point game. Baronis kicked on the way, and it's good. With 11:40 remaining in the ball game. Colts still have the lead, but finally their string of unanswered points stopped by Tennessee on that field goal. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by KFC. KFC plus football equals couchgating. And by the new 2014 Lexus GX. Dare to be spontaneous. Speaking of spontaneous, you got professional dancers, and then you got that guy.
my man found pom-poms and everything.
I'm sure he doesn't go to practice every week with the ladies either.
New definition of mirror drill.
23-20 with 11:39 remaining. A 40-yard drive in 11 plays by the Titans, and Baronis' 38-yard field goal as he's set to kick off. Brazil from the 1. Runs into his own man and then trips out to the 21-yard line. Next Thursday night, we're going to be at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Hope you join us as we've got a matchup in the NFC South. Drew Brees on a roll, and I mean a roll. The Saints are 7-2. The Falcons are on the opposite end at 2-7 and defending NFC South champions who won 13 games a year ago. Struggling. This guy isn't struggling. 40 first downs against the Cowboys last week. Man.
And as impressive as he was, how about the Rob Ryan defense?
Pretty good. And we'll see that Rob Ryan defense against the Falcons. Matt Ryan on the offense next Thursday night in Atlanta. Nice play fake by Luck and a wide open Coby Fleener flying down the sideline. Fleener into Titan territory to the 40. Great play fake and then a wide open tight end.
Really well done. One Stanford guy is going to clear up here, Griffin, and then the other Stanford guy is going to come underneath. Great play fake, as you said. Nobody on that half of the football field.
And a 39-yard pass play to the tight end. Great look at Fleener going all the way to the 40. And a first down for the Colts.
7 catches for Fleener tonight for 93. Huge night.
Brown back in there at the tailback spot. He'll get the carry behind Adili as fullback. Only for a couple. And again, it's getting a little chippy at the end of the play as we're down at 10:45 remaining in regulation. And the Colts clinging to a 3-point lead. In the last 4 possessions, doesn't matter who's had the ball. It's been a score. We haven't had a lot of punting tonight. The Colts a field goal, 2 touchdowns, and then another field goal, and already in Titan territory at the 38-yard line. A lot of shifting going on the Titans front. They're coming with a blitz. Luck, plenty of time. Going to loft one. Hilton can't quite get to it. Got a hand on it, but that's it.
I thought this was a pretty good move by Hilton, but Sensabaugh does a real nice job. Watch the hesitation and now the go. Double move. Sensabaugh's a 4.4 guy out of Clemson, who I thought was a steal in the draft 2 years ago. He only started 1 year at Clemson. Not a highly recruited kid out of high school. Ness, he's one of those late bloomers that just learning how to play the game, and he's got a really awesome skill set.
Yep. Big third down right here for the Titans defense. Trying to prevent any further damage, trailing by 3. They're going to bring the blitz again. Luck got hit as he threw, and it's incomplete. Hilton was looking for a flag, doesn't get it. And the Colts are going to have to punt.
Yeah, they went into their odd front, meaning they've got a man head up on the center, and Casey again is just too much for the front.
It's been too much for a lot of people this year. So McAfee to kick. Over end punt. Wiley trying to get out of the way and block the Colts out of the way, but it takes a bounce up to around the 8-yard line. That's where the Titans will have it, deep in their own territory. The beginning of week 11 of the NFL season on Thursday Night Football. If the season ended today, here's how the playoff picture would look. Kansas City, the Patriots, these Colts, and the Bengals would be division leaders, with Denver and the Jets and the wild card, and then a whole group of 4 and 5s, including this Tennessee Titan team that's trying to close the gap on the Colts in the AFC South if they can come from behind. They had a big lead early, let it slip away. Now they've got the ball back at their own 9-yard line. Their worst starting field position of the night. With 9:53 left. And Ryan Fitzpatrick at the controls and in the shotgun. Near his own goal line, is going to rip one long for Hunter, and he dropped it. Had his hands on it. Good play by Cassius Vaughn to break up the completion for the rookie from Tennessee.
And this kid is 6'4", 205 pounds, second-round pick. He ran 4.4. He's raw as can be, but his height, weight, speed, I mean, you're talking about a guy with a 40-inch vertical. He broad jumped 11 feet 4. He's got all the measurables, but he's got to learn how to run routes. Awful lot of potential.
Shaken up a little bit on the end of that play as well.
Ready? Pick up.
Fitzpatrick complete to Nate Washington, and he's got a first down at the 20. Well, if you missed the ball game from the start, Chris Johnson had a huge start with a 37-yard touchdown to give his team the lead. But then Wiley fumbled on a kick return covered by Boom Herron. Andrew Luck took it in 11 yards to take the lead, and the lead they still have, but by only 3, 23-20. Chris Johnson, boy, he started strong. We mentioned first 8 carries, 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now he's had 9 carries for 16 yards since.
Set the edge, right? Alex Flanagan talked about it right here. Watch Walden at the point of attack. He gets Stevens, the tight end, buckles his chin strap and makes the play. That is a huge point of attack play for Walden.
So a loss of a couple, second down and 12. Johnson stays in, but as a receiver to the bottom of your screen. Over the middle, in and out of the hands of Nate Washington.
That's bad ball placement. If he puts it out in front,
he's still running.
Yeah, defensive back can't make the play on the ball. Now I give Butler credit for staying alive and watch him from the backside come in and strip it right there. But if the ball's in front of Washington, it's an easy completion.
And it brings up a third down and 12.
And like you said, Brad, he still should have caught the football, though. Both teams just challenging man-to-man all night.
Blitz coming. Crossing route. This one is in stride, but he's not going to get there, and the ball bounces up and out of bounds. Kendall Wright had it. He's going to be about a yard shy of the first down.
Yeah, and they will mark it where he fumbled it, not give any momentum for the ball. Man-to-man, Butler, he beats him back underneath. They've been winning on crossing routes versus man all night long. When that knee comes down, the ball's down.
That's even where it bounced was a yard shy, and that's where it ends up, 4th down and a yard. And Kern to punt. That's T.Y. Hilton back deep. Hilton's going to try to clear everybody out of the way, and then he'll take it on the bounce and losing yardage. on the play back around the 25-yard line. Andrew Luck, his team has the lead. He's got the football in those hands when we come back. Chuck Pagano to Andrew Luck. And his offense back on the field at the 26-yard line. They'd love to go on a time-consuming drive to get more points and go to 7-3. The guys in the light blue don't want that to happen. 7:41 remaining. 3-point ball game.
And they're jumbo set right now.
Here's a counter to Donald Brown. He's had a good game. And another good gain on that one. The Colts leading in the fourth quarter. They've won the last 15. That's a nice thing to hang your hat on when you got a 3-point lead and you know you're capable of finishing one off.
And typically Andrew Luck plays his best football in the fourth quarter, especially when it's a tight ball game.
And again, they've got a history with the Titans, having won 8 of the last 9. Avili, the fullback, comes back to reset in the backfield with Brown. And again, Brown follows his fullback, and he's in the clear. Donald Brown all the way out to the 49-yard line. Pickup of 17.
They've been hanging their hat on counter all night. Backside guard and backside fullback both getting up in front of the tailback. Nice job getting out the rookie third-round pick, Thornton. Avili gets a block. The good cut by Brown. And at this point, there's the patience to the hole and the burst through the hole. We're seeing Pep Hamilton's DNA come out here.
Yeah.
Power. That was 2 tight ends, 2 backs, only 1 wide receiver. They've had 3 tackles in the game. Pep Hamilton's all about the grinder. And he feels like in the fourth quarter is where it shows.
Brown, former first-rounder, 27th pick. Here he comes again back in 2009. So ironically enough, their #1 pick from 2009 playing most of this half instead of the guy they traded a #1 draft choice for in Trent Richardson.
Tackle, tackle, tackle. 3 tackles in the game. They're going weak side. Run the same play. Ness, power, right?
And 82 rushing yards this half. Brown putting on a show.
What a tale of 2 halves. Unbalanced again.
2nd down and 2. Donald Brown again. He's going to be a little bit shy this time.
And Colin McCarthy did a good job from the inside linebacker. You can tell Tennessee's starting to really attack run now, which they need to do. At some point, Andrew Luck is going to fake it and come out firing on a route off play action.
Donald Brown comes out, looks like maybe a contact issue or just got poked in the eye. And a big 3rd down and 1 meanwhile on the field with Trent Richardson back out there. They've already chewed up about 3 minutes on this drive. They give it to the fullback, and he's got the 1st down. Straight ahead for Avili.
Nice job there. That was really an influence with the tailback Richardson going wide, and they hand it off inside to Avili.
And Avili got that 243 pounds going, and the pile went his way. 1st down at the 38-yard line.
Avili's kind of an athletic fullback, and I think that's starting to be back in vogue in the NFL.
Yeah.
Avili here, Tolbert in Carolina, Sherman in Kansas City, Miller in San Fran. What's the common denominator? They're all winning ball games.
And now Richardson stretches out to try to get back to the line of scrimmage, but lost a yard.
Yeah, the grinder is in effect. 3 tackles in the game. Pound downhill. Pound downhill. Body punches.
That's what he was talking about. He used 2 boxing terms talking with us last night. Pep Hamilton did. And he said it was going to be a body punching night with right hooks to the gut. And right now that's where he's going, is right up the gut.
Exactly. If you're a college football fan and it reminds you of Stanford, it should.
That's right. That's where he came from. 6 straight runs for the Colts. This will be a pass. Play action wide open is Fleener. And Fleener's got a first down before he's cut down on the far side at the 25-yard line.
And there it is. We talked about setting up the play action. And they fake it to Richardson here and then watch the tight end cross all by himself. Linebackers don't see him. They're in zone. Look how wide open that is.
Career high night, Mike, for Fleener in both catches and yards.
He was the second-round pick a year ago, 34th pick in the draft. And, boy, you can see how athletic this young man is. He's a little tired now. Look at him.
Needs a breather. He'll come out for at least a play. And still they've got two tight ends in there at the 25. Trent Richardson. He bangs his way for about 4 yards. Again, the clock and the scoreboard in the favor of the Colts. With a timeout now. 3:14 remaining in regulation. Indianapolis trying to come from behind and go to 7-3 on the season. Tomorrow on NFL Total Access, Von Miller joins us on Broncos Cam to break down Denver's hot start and their big matchup against the undefeated Chiefs. That's NFL Total Access tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern live on NFL Network. Well, the Colts took this football at their own 26-yard line. They've used about 4.5 minutes off the clock. And Tennessee's down to one timeout. Remember, they lost one on Mike Munchak's challenge of that spot earlier. Donald Brown got close to the 20, a flag in the backfield.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 56, hitting the quarterback when he's out of the play. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
A hit on Andrew Luck after he had already handed off Ayers, and that's a huge penalty.
Yeah, this is... Here he is to your right of your screen. The ball's been let go. And that is a priority in the NFL right now. Wasn't a big hit, but it was the right call.
So they walk it off. It's going to be a first down around the 10-yard line. Put it down just outside the 10. Colts haven't lost 2 straight to start the season. They lost to the Rams last week by 30. They're holding on to a 3-point lead here with just over 3 to go. It's 1st and 10. They can get a first down at about the 2-foot line. Brown hitting the backfield, and he'll lose a half yard. Colin McCarthy, the first guy there.
And Tennessee using a...
Tennessee's out of timeouts now, as they just used their last one with 3:05 remaining. You know, Mike would love to have that challenge one back, but it's not there. And now they need a stop from their defense. Again, the counter. Donald Brown cuts it back up in the middle for the touchdown. Donald Brown from 11 yards out. And the Colts about to go up by 10.
Body punch, body punch, body punch, knockout.
And that might be what knocks Tennessee out of any hope for the playoffs. Still 3 minutes and a second remaining, but now an extra point away from being a 10-point deficit. Donald Brown sensational in this second half as he just capped off a 74-yard drive in 11 plays. They ate up the clock. They ate up the field. And they might have eaten up any chances for the Titans postseason.
Tackle, tackle, tight end, fullback, tackle, all power, body punch, and now here comes the knockout. Good block by Thornton from the backside. The correct cut by Donald Brown. He jumps into the hole, now accelerates behind McGlynn. And as bad as the Colts looked in the first half, they've looked phenomenal here in the second half.
Donald Brown and his run of renown. 11-yard touchdown. He's got 51 yards this half, 80 for the game.
I like that. In the Music City, you give us a little bit of Band of Renown. That was pretty good, man.
That's an old Doc Severinsen tune, isn't it? Something like that. Next week, Thursday Night Football in Atlanta, the Georgia Dome. Matt Ryan and Tony Gonzalez in company against Drew Brees and Jimmy Graham. In an NFC South battle that has the Saints way out in front at 7-2. The Carolina Panthers trying to close, and the Falcons trying to somehow salvage something out of their season at a 2-7 start right now. And Wiley's going to take a knee. So only 3 minutes to work with. No timeouts to work with. Only the 2-minute warning for the Titans.
You mentioned Donald Brown. He's had 15 touches today, 14 runs and a reception for 94. It's a heck of a day. They've got 2 former first-round picks in their backfield. He and obviously Trent Richardson.
His first career multi-touchdown game. So the #1 pick from 2009. And the guy they traded a #1 pick to the Cleveland Browns to get didn't have much of a night tonight, but his counterpart did. Now Fitzpatrick and the Titans need to score in a hurry. Again, a lot of crossing patterns tonight, a lot of short throws to Delanie Walker and Kendall Wright, but that's about it in the passing game. There's been not a lot of downfield throws by the Titans tonight, and they're going to need one pretty soon. Chris Johnson shifts over to Fitzpatrick's left. And they're going to try to, I thought he was going to throw to him out of the backfield. Now he runs with it and got a first down and quite a bit more heading to the sideline. Pick up a 15.
And in a 2-possession game, we're seeing what we would expect to see from Indianapolis' defense. Soft zone, try to keep everything in front. Good athletic ability there by Fitzpatrick, picking up the first down and getting out of bounds.
Stopping the clock at 2:26. Colts have had 4 drives of 11 plays or more tonight. It sure didn't look like it was going to go that way in the early stages of the ball game.
No, they climbed out of another hole tonight. That's a pattern that they've got to get out of.
Sometimes you dig them too deep, as they did against the Rams last week. Finally, a throw down the middle. Nate Washington. He's down inside the 20. Been waiting for a little bit deeper throw, and finally they hook one up when they needed it. 42 yards on the pass play.
Yeah, and that was a heck of a throw by Fitzpatrick. It broke wide open. Looked to me like Bethea, the safety, wasn't really aware of the route coming.
That takes it down to the 2-minute warning. The Titans, though, threatening in the red zone at the 19-yard line. They need points in a hurry with no timeouts left. Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it. Kind of doubt that Greg Minuski was loving the defense on that last play on the 42-yard pickup to Nate Washington down to the 19-yard line.
Yeah, that was a little too easy. They ran double in routes, and the corner, excuse me,
Cassius Vaughn.
I kept wanting to say Cassius Clay. He didn't squeeze the route.
No timeouts left. Fitzpatrick got his man, Delanie Walker, the tight end, for the touchdown. Great drive engineered by Ryan Fitzpatrick, and he finds Delanie Walker on a 19-yard touchdown. So the extra point coming up, and then an onside kick coming up from Rob Baronis. Nice job by Fitzpatrick. 2 great throws on that drive.
Yeah, they got him down there vertically very quickly.
Extra point is good.
This is Walker here, and he's going to work inside, and Bethea's going to pick him up, and he's going to break it back out. looks like Bethay's expecting some help, and I'm not sure if that corner was in man or not, but Bethay's off him by about 8 yards. I'm guessing that corner should have been squeezing the route and then backing off underneath.
And Walker, his 5th touchdown catch of the year, which leads the club. Both teams huddled around their special team coaches. As here's another look.
He's going to come here and out. Bethay is going to come over the top. But watch what happens with the post here. The corner is going to follow it inside, thereby clearing the outside. Bethay gets no help, and it's too easy.
So the Colts with their good hands group out there. Barona's going to try an onside kick. Remember, they're out of timeouts. It's really the only option they have. Colts do have one guy deep back at the 15-yard line in case it's a pop-up type onside kick. The NFL onside kick success rate this year, in case you're wondering, 31 have been tried, 5 have been successful.
And the ball is on the ground, no tee.
Baronas fakes it and now kicks it to the near side and covered by Pat Anger, the middle linebacker. That might be a game ball for him. He's taking that baby with him.
I don't blame him. Now, it didn't go 10, but alertly he jumps on it. He got a good bounce. Looked like a second baseman. Scooped it up. No problem.
And there's a quarterback that's a pretty happy guy to be putting his helmet back on to go out in the victory formation.
Hey, I'm not going down. Going down, fellas. Going down. Check out.
Disappointing ending
to what was a fantastic beginning for the Titans tonight.
They tried to swipe the ball. The nose tackle tried to swipe at the ball. The offensive line was upset. It was Terrell Casey, I believe.
So now the clock starts running again. Don't forget, coming up when the game's over, Rich and Dion, LT, Michael, and Mooch will be live on the field breaking down the action. They'll have highlights and player interviews for you. Make sure you stick around with us after the game for NFL Total Access postgame presented by Mitsubishi Motors. Another kneel down for Luck. Now this is going to be 9 wins in the last 10 outings for the Colts over their rivals from here in Nashville. And the Titans are going to fall to 4-6, and the Colts give themselves a 3-game lead. A lot of breathing room now as they're about set to go to 7-3. And as we said, there was some kind of sputtering in the Colts game. Last week was terrible. The first quarter was horrendous tonight, and then all of a sudden things turned around. And really the turning point in the ball game was that fumbled kick return by the Titans that Andrew Luck turned into an 11-yard touchdown run. And there's what it looks like now in the South. The Colts another game ahead of Mike Munchak and the Titans. Final score 30-27. The Colts come from being down 17-6 at halftime and win this one by 3. 30-27 the final. We're going to be back in a minute. Don't forget Saints and Falcons next Thursday from the Georgia Dome. We'll be back in a minute with NFL Total Access postgame presented by Mitsubishi Motors. Highlights, analysis, live interviews, and press conferences. Stay with us.